this before the season started, you were asked about Evan Neal and tackle versus guard, and you said he's just trying to get back on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
All in the first half of the season, you were asked about Evan Neal, tackle versus guard, and you said he's just trying to get back on the field. Like, yeah. Now that you've actually seen, you had never seen him play, basically. Now that you've actually seen him start 5 games, how do you feel about where his future is, tackle or guard?
I would say that, Ryan, my goal is probably just to get through today and then get through this week. Evan's doing a great job doing exactly what he's asked for. He's improving at the right tackle spot, and we'll keep working at it, and we'll see where we go from there.
I just mean, like, as a coach, you could be here for years. Like, he's a foundational piece. Like, I
think he's a guy that has the capability of having versatility. I think you want to see, what his best position is, and we're playing through that to determine that. So he's playing right tackle, and tomorrow's promised to no one. We'll just get through today.
The people who know offensive line, not as well as you, but much better than me, say he's on the ground too much. How do you cure that?
Yeah, I saw that quote. I'm probably not interested in worrying about what people outside the building say. I think all of us just worry about how we got to improve. Certainly, as a coach, there's things I've got to do better. As a player, Evan's got things he's got to do better. As the old line, we got things we got to do better. So to worry about one individual technique or one individual thing or what people may have to say.
So you don't see that?
I'm not interested in giving a quote to what people may have to say. You know what I mean? Like, I heard that, for prep, it was highlighted on my sheet here, and I was wondering about that one too. So.
How about that? See, they prepped you well.
Oh, they do prep us well. They do a great job. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, so when you say that you're trying to figure out what the best position is for Evan, are you saying that you guys have talked about what guard would look like, or you're saying right now it's tackle and then at some point?
Evan Neal is the starting right tackle for the New York Football Giants.
Right.
Like any offensive lineman, we hope players have versatility. Hey, guess what? Evan is a big, strong guy. Yeah. He played left guard when he was at Alabama.
Right.
He's the starting right tackle for the Giants, and that's what he's playing. Like, end of story. You hope a guy can do other things because sometimes you only get 7 to a game, depending upon what things are going nowadays. So you need versatility, and we ask that, You don't want to be a one-hole player in this league. It's just hard to do.
Have you talked to him about what he prefers?
I would say that any conversation, I think, certainly as a coach, hey, I feel stronger here, I feel stronger there. I think as a coach, your goal is always to have your players feel confident where they're at. So, but any conversations that we have in-house, I'll keep in-house.
I think we're just asking because when you look for it, like, obviously in our job, it's like, what are the Giants going to look at? What are the Giants going to look like moving forward? And it's like, well, you have Andrew Thomas, hopefully healthy. Yeah. You have Jermaine Luminor, played, I think, pretty well this year. Under contract, he's the right tackle. Where does Evan Neal fit? That's obviously why we're asking.
And truly, though, and I respect your jobs, and obviously that's something that the masses are interested in as well. I truly, for myself, it's about what are we doing this week? Where are we at this week? Where are we at in the next 2 weeks? Where are we at from there? And truly, you can't. I understand people need to do that. Front office need to do that, but I think we can't live in that world. We got to go win this week. Like you're going to play a game this week. Tomorrow's, like I said, promised to no one. And I truly try to live by that. It's hard enough to try to get through a day for me, except for worrying about what may happen next year.
Have you watched Becton at all for the Eagles this year?
We see him on crossover tape. Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you think his transition to guard has gone?
I think I'd seen him on crossover tape. I couldn't speak to if it's gone well or not. I think I'd leave that for others.
Would you agree?
I don't get paid to critique the Eagles O-line. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my job.
Would you agree with me on Luminor?
On what's that?
That he's had a good year.
Yeah, I think Jermaine would say that he's had good games and bad games like anybody. We've been up and down. I think as a group, and I've said it before, I'd like us to be a little bit more consistent. I don't think we've played poorly, but I still have a vision for what we can do. I don't think we've achieved that vision yet.
What have you seen from Kayvon since he's come back from IR?
Yeah, I think he's been playing hard. I think the first game back Tampa, he's kind of feeling his way through it. Anytime you have the injury he had, just trusting it when you're punching blocks and playing with length and extension is something you got to get used to. But I think he's been playing hard. He's been locked in, and he's just trying to elevate.
Burns, what's he showing you? This is not, Charlie. This is not to say anybody is shutting it down, but a guy who has his contract, has had nagging injuries all year, and he's out there when the games are not for playoff positioning.
Yeah, since the since we started the file on him before we acquired him, doing our research, learning about him from people in the league, and then when he's gotten here, seeing how he's worked and carried himself, I'd say every step of the way, he's been a guy that is a complete pro, takes his job seriously, works, and just wants to be great. So to me, it's no surprise seeing him fight through injuries. I mean, just that being who he is has been consistent since the first day we got introduced to the guy. So, once he's been here and been working and the season's gone the way it has, he's changed. He hasn't changed at all from his approach, which is just trying to work every day to be great and put good film out there and play good and enjoy playing.
What's he meant for not only the position group, but the locker room? I know it's kind of maybe more of a player question, but what you can see from him.
Yeah, I think a lot, just leading by example and being physically being out here and just going about his business the way that he does is an example for everybody to see a veteran player who's already gotten paid. I mean, the money motivation probably isn't what it is for a younger player who hasn't gotten the contract that he's gotten, and he's out here grinding. So I think it's all been positive, and just from a leadership by example standpoint, it's been on full display, and guys can draw from that.
What do you see from Kayvon that doesn't show up in the box score? Because he's a polarizing player for this fan base.
Yep.
Like, he had 11.5 sacks last year.
Yep.
People want to judge guys by pass rush. What do you see that doesn't show up in the box score?
I think, first of all, he's fallen off probably, I don't know, maybe 5 sacks this year. A couple in Washington when he had Jaden in his grasp and he got out, which that's what he does, fell off one the other day. So the numbers, and that's just how sacks go. He may, depending on who's counting it, may have gotten a half here or there on some of the ones that our team got this year. But that is what it is. So the numbers could in another year fall a completely different way, and now the number's up around 10 and everyone's, happy with that number, But I think he's been playing hard, and he's embracing who he is as a rusher. He has tremendous get off and edge ability, and I think you saw that in college. In the NFL, you have to be able to marry edge win ability with some power rush ability, and I think it's taken him time to learn and grow, or as he's learned and grown into being a pro rusher, I think he's learning that over time, and he's embraced it, and he's been, rushing that way. He's had some good rushes, and at the end of the day, pass rush is about affecting the quarterback. We all want sacks, and he has affected the quarterback, moved him off the spot, or not allowed him to follow through. Even if the sack wasn't there as a result, there have been some good rushes, and I think he's been doing that.
How's this season been for you as a coach? Just navigating.
It's been tough. Everybody wants to win. And I haven't been around one like this in terms of the number at this stage in the season. So that part has made it frustrating. But other than that, it's no different from any other year, when it's just showing up, working hard, trying to do my best job as a coach, and the players want to do their best job as a player. So, and I've been, lucky because the group I have, they're all pros, they're all great guys, and they all work and want to be great. So everybody's been on the same page the whole time. It's just, the frustration of dealing with the losses is there, but, it really hasn't changed our approach each week. So that's been status quo, in that regard. And I'm thankful for the guys taking that approach. Our room's been pretty hungry and gritty the whole time, and, you can't ask for any more as a coach.
Have you done any, or have you reached out to anyone to talk to someone who's gone through that, or have you kind of changed, not approach, but just the way you think about it?
I really haven't, I've just tried to focus on, controlling what I can control, which is coaching my guys to the best of my ability so that they can play to the best of their ability. And that's been my rallying cry for myself. And that's what I've focused on. And, maybe I should have, I guess, I don't know, but I just haven't. I've just focused on that.
How important is it for guys like Deontay and Drew to get back on the field and finish strong?
Very, very important. I'm glad they're back. Glad they're going to get a chance to go out there and again start to build again. Was disappointed having them out. Obviously you saw the difference in the play, and it's my job to make sure there isn't a drop off. So I'm glad to have those guys back.
It's Cordell in that same boat. I mean, he's a little more experienced, but still.
Yeah, glad to get him back out there. Again, we'll be much better with those guys than without.
What have you thought about Cordell? Because he was a guy, first couple of years, kind of bounced around, was kind of inside, outside. It seems like he's at least, do you view him at now, that's his spot, he's an outside corner?
Outside corner. And again, getting Drew helps that move. You feel good about Drew inside, playing the nickel for us and his play style and how he plays. So we feel good and feel good about Flat outside. I thought he was playing really well before the injury, and again, we missed him.
I don't know if we'll get you again before the offseason, so I know this is looking ahead a little bit, but like for Drew, does he need to develop? You know, is that a good rookie year? I'm sure there's room to grow.
Yeah, just continue to grow in the position. Again, he's in a position where stuff is always moving and it's fast in there. And you hope that next year that it calms down for him, that it's a lot slower for him, that he knows to anticipate like a lot of the things that he has to deal with now, that like he gets there, but like you just wish he'd be sometimes a tick faster at it. And I think, like today we had a walkthrough and gosh, he was really on it. And you see his growth from where he started to where he is now. And I just hope he continues that. But I think next year, the thing he will understand is NFL football. And like in NFL, when you get certain looks, certain things happen. And the more you can understand that, you can anticipate and play faster. And I think he's starting to get there. And then next year, you hope that like he takes another jump.
How tough was it to lose Newman?
Again, it was a beautiful few weeks for us. Losing him was, again, he had built so much momentum and he is such a physical presence for us that you hate for him and for us that he's not able to finish the year and to kind of put a stamp on his year, his rookie season. He hates it. I hate it for him. I hate it for us. But like you anticipate next year that he's going to come back with a fire and ready to go and excited and play well.
Just keep running through the injured guys like Trey. Like what did he like? It's pretty brutal that he has obviously his best game. Probably. What did you see and what is that?
Just his physical presence. Like he showed up in a game where we knew they wanted to run the ball. They wanted the corners to tackle. And he showed up in a big way. He showed up in so many ways physically for us. And just, gosh, when he came out the game and said, told me his back was bothering me, he couldn't, I'm not sure if I can go. And then, we put the next guy in. I just hate it for him even. And I wish he would have been available for us the next week against Baltimore. Yeah, because we lost, a bunch of guys all at one time. And it's rough.